We have had so many sunny days lately, but for some reason, when I sit down to film, it always happens to be a rainy and gray day. And I think that is the perfect background to get cozy and have a catch-up, which is what we are going to do in today's video. So I do have an agenda to keep me on track, and it's going to be an exciting one. So I'm going to start off by talking about some ink color combinations inspired by some color combinations that Michael in the Margins sent me. I'm going to give you a really tiny update on my Hibino setup, where I narrow down the ink colors that I am going to be using for my setup for 2026. Then we are going to open up my Hobonichi order, which arrived a few days ago, and I just haven't had time to sit down and open it up until now. And then I'm going to give you a very quick update on the community sticker trade, just to let you know what to expect if you did sign up to participate. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, then I invite you to settle in, grab yourself a tea or a coffee or whatever beverage of choice, maybe a snack, and something to keep you company and help you feel cozy while we hang out and have a catch-up. A little while ago, I watched a video by Michael in the Margins where he shared this amazing book. I believe it was called A Dictionary of Color Combinations. And in it, it was full of unique color combinations that he was using to inspire a currently inked color palette that he was putting together. I absolutely loved the idea. I tend to ink pens as they run out, so it's very rare that I will curate a full currently inked lineup of inks, but I love the concept because I think it really encourages you to use your ink, and it's kind of fun to see how things coordinate. And he was so kind and offered to share some combinations in his book that might inspire some of my currently inked lists. And I just wanted to share some of the combinations with you. So he shared quite a few, and so I selected two of the ones, and I went through my ink bottles and my ink samples and used that as inspiration for ink combinations. And I did go ahead and do them on the white Tomoe River paper as well as in my MD paper in one of my inserts. So let me just make sure that I'm in frame. This is the first one. I gave him a few ink colors that I had been wanting to use for the fall, and I recently inked one of my pens with Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn. It's one of the first ink bottles that I ever got, and I love to use this ink at this time of the year. So one of the combinations that he gave me, it was combination 206, and that was Corinthian Pink, Cinnamon Rufous, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and Golden Yellow. So I went through my ink collection, and these were the different combinations that I came up with. The top one here is Sailor Ink Studio 273, Tacha Suchi, and Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn. That was my anchor color. And this next row here is Teranishi Opera Rose, Bungubox Kabayaki, and of course Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn. And then this last one here is Colorverse Brunch Date, J. Urban Lidite, and Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn. So I love this color palette. I think my favorite one might be this middle one here, but I also would really love to try Colorverse Brunch Date. This is an ink sample that I got from Tiffany from Toxmot, and I haven't inked this into pen yet, so I might ink a pen with this color soon, possibly my Hachimanjia pen when I'm finished with my strawberry chocolate ink sample. I think that would be really lovely. And then I'm really excited to try this Bungubox Kabayaki. This was an ink sample from Leanne Likes, and I have yet to try this in a pen, but it looks like the perfect warm brown. So yes, I just wanted to share that. Let me know what you think of these combinations, what some of your favorites are. And then the next combination that I tried, I think these ones were much more unique, not really something that I would have thought to do on my own. So this one was meant to be 250, Pyrite Yellow, Peach Red, and Nile Blue. And, oh, Sea Green. I forgot to write Sea Green here. So this one was a little harder to find because I don't really have a lot of like warm, light or medium tone blues, and I also don't really have a lot of like sea green. Most of my greens are in the olive green family, and most of my blues are more saturated or darker blues, but I think these combinations are fun. So my anchor color was Dominant Industry and Wonder Pen's Ginger Chicken. So that's what you see over here. In the top here, I put Pilot Irishizuku Inoue, and I think it's so interesting to see how flat Inoue looks on this 2025 Tomoe River paper compared to this MD paper. This is another reason why I love cream paper so much. I feel like it just makes the colors so warm and vibrant, and I think this is a really great example of how that looks, although also this is the bad paper, so perhaps this is not the best representation for white Tomoe River paper. Over here I have Dominant Industry and Wonder Pen's Chicken in the Sky with Diamonds, and then on the bottom I have Sailor Manyo Haha, and I love this ink so much. I love putting it in a medium nib pen, and I find that it does tend to write a little more blue, so I think this would be pretty close to the Nile Blue color. And then down here I have Ferris Wheel Press Goose Poupon, Pilot Iro Shizuku Shinryoko, and then Wearing All Lost in the bottom. And I just love how this Pilot Irishizuku ink looks on this paper. I just think it looks so vibrant, so warm. I love it. So, Michael, if you happen to be watching this, thank you so much for sharing these combinations with me. Michael was kind enough to share many more combinations, so I'm actually really excited to try to match my inks to some of the other ones as well. And eventually I am going to ink some pens. I will keep you posted, but I'm really loving the nudge and I'm feeling very inspired to try to curate a list of inks. Curious to know if you're someone who likes to curate your ink list, and if so, let me know what colors you are loving right now. If it is autumn where you are, then what are some of your favorite autumn colors? And if you are heading into spring, then let me know what some of your favorite spring colors are. So I mentioned in my Midori Hibino video that I was thinking about setting up my weekly setups using a green and a brown ink from my collection. And I narrowed it down to the green being Tokiwa Matsu or Tuna and Olives. This is Dominant Industry and Wonder Pen's exclusive, and then this is a Sailor Shikiori ink. And then for the browns, I narrowed it down to the DeAtramentis Sepia brown and the DeAtramentis regular brown. So I just wanted to share. These are the different ways that it's going to look. And I think I've decided which one I'm going to go with, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know which one you would choose if this were you. I am having so much fun playing with the different color combinations and just taking my time figuring out the setup. I don't want to rush this. I do want to enjoy the process, and if I'm going to be dating 52 weeks ahead of a time, I don't want to rush it, otherwise I'm going to hate it. And I just want to make sure that I'm really happy with the color combinations that I've chosen because I will be staring at them for a year. Let me know what you think and if you have any guesses as to which one I will be going with. So I was really going back and forth on whether I wanted to do a Hobonichi haul or unboxing. There are so many wonderful hauls and unboxings online already that I'm not sure that this is going to be the most interesting content. If this doesn't interest you, then feel free to skip to the next section. I'll see you in the next video. But ultimately, I have already been documenting my other Hobonichi orders from previous years, and I think this will be nice to look back on. And I realized that I did want to have some documentation of this. I'll start off by saying that this box, as you can see, is not in the greatest shape. It's actually pretty decent in terms of it doesn't have too many holes in it compared to some of the other boxes that I've seen. But despite my attempts to very carefully rip off the shipping label, I was unsuccessful at maintaining the top of this box. So it's a shame. I know others have mentioned this. They like to keep their boxes, and I do as well. So I might keep this box anyway, even though it's not in the greatest shape. As long as the contents on the inside are okay, then I think that's the most important thing. So okay. All right, so I'm just going to take everything out and then I'll meet you back. The first thing is this day free. This is actually for a friend, so I'm not going to open it, but it's so cute. Okay, I had to run out for an appointment, so we are back. So this is the only dated Hobonichi planner that I picked up for this year. And this is the brochure that comes with it. I'm really excited to do this. I feel like the one year they have the really adorable robot and the cool dot picture games or puzzles is the one year that I only get one book. I think it would have been fun to get all of the different versions and see what these turn out to look like. And I am really sad that I did not get a robot in my order, but I'm manifesting getting a robot in some way because I really love it, and I hope that at some point I'll be able to get one, whether I buy one or am able to trade with someone. I'm not too sure. This is the Yuichi, Inoue, Amenimo, Makezu weeks. This is the English version. I love that it comes with a pencil board, and it's so beautiful with this bold green and navy for the characters. And then on the back, it's this creamy beigey color with this navy blue. It's so beautiful. And I was so torn between this week's the Port of Dawn, I think it was called, and the 100% Orange Squirrel Weeks. In the end, I went with this one because I resonated with the story behind this cover. I liked that it wasn't glossy. It has a really nice feel to it. And this just represents resiliency and momentum. And once I looked up the poem and read the English translation, that pretty much sealed the deal for me. I think I'm going to find a English translation of this poem and keep that translation somewhere in this week's so I can reference it. I won't do a pen test in this video But look out for that because I'm very curious to see how all of my pens hold up, and I really hope that not only do they not bleed through, but I hope they don't bloom and make all of my pens write more broadly than they are, because that was something that I didn't enjoy so much in 2025. For now, my thought is I'll use this as a memory keeper and a media consumption journal. I think I can do both in here, but I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to think it through, and I will update you in a future 2026 lineup video. Next, I got an A5 gridded notebook. I actually picked up the A6 and I picked up an A5, but I'm gonna just take a closer look at the A6. This is one of my favorite Hiroko Kubota covers, and I actually grabbed my weeks from 2024 just to show you the difference. So this is a very glossy cover. It's very shiny and it's very smooth, whereas this is also a little bit shiny, but it's more like it has more texture on the cover. I don't know if you can see that, but I do love this cover, and I'm really excited to have it in a notebook because then I can use it in future years beyond 2024. In case you are unfamiliar with the grid notebooks, they have different colors. So there's a few different sections. I think it's 3, maybe 4. So there's 4 different sections, and the grid line colors change ever so slightly. So there's sort of like a pinkish red color, a blue, a tan, kind of yellowy color, and then more of like a purple. So I am thinking about potentially using this as a pet journal, just because I love the idea of having a pet journal, but I'm hesitant to get a dated planner for that purpose. So I might just try something like this, and taking an idea from the day free, I might potentially draw the calendar in the first few pages and then just have free pages for the rest of the book. I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to think that through, but that's one idea that I have in my mind. So I'm excited to use these notebooks. Next, I picked up these 100% orange folders. I love this collection so much, and I really wanted to get something from it. So I love these folders because I'm always finding uses for them. They fit so nicely in any of your covers. So they're usually a little bit smaller than the A6 sized book. So you can tuck them into your A6 notebooks, or the A5 size folders can be tucked into your A5 notebooks. And they just fit really nicely into covers. So I love these, and these illustrations are so adorable. I love this squirrel munching on an acorn with big cheeks, and I just love all these little illustrations, especially for some reason this one with the cane. I just love how inclusive and colorful and cheerful these designs are. So I'm really happy to have been able to add something to my collection. The other thing that I picked up from the 100% orange is a Deco Rush, and I know that these can be a little bit hit or miss, but I really wanted to have some more options to decorate pages without bulking them up. So these are very thin. They're about as thin as maybe like a washi sticker, or possibly even thinner. And I think that this will be a nice thing to use in my Midori Hibino. So if we were to maybe test some of these out, yeah. So I think these are so cute. They're just more of these adorable squirrel illustrations. We have 2 items from the Yumi Kitagishi collection this year. I really had to narrow this down. There were just a lot of items that I would have really loved. The drawer pouches are very cute this year, but I narrowed it down to these 2 because I like to send a lot of happy mail, and I think this would be really cute, not only for my journals, but also to send in happy mail. So I know I'm going to get good use out of these. These are sticky notes, and basically the entire back is sticky, and you can just write on these. So I'm very happy that I picked this up. And then I picked up a sheet of these square stickers. I believe most of these can be found on the design of the Hobonichi Weeks this year, and I just really loved it, and I will cherish them because I only have 1 sheet. Okay, so then I got this pencil board. I really loved the colors, and I especially loved the illustration for this pencil board. On the back, it's this beautiful yellow color with another beautiful illustration. And I think it'll actually match quite nicely with my Hibino. So this is what I'll be using next year. So I think it goes really well. And I always usually pick up at least 1 pencil board every year. I find it's a really nice way to be able to incorporate some of the collections that you like without buying some of the more expensive items. And these last a really long time, and I just like to kind of match a pencil board to the book for the year. And I'm really happy with how these are looking together. And now, the star of the show is this adorable POTR Stroll. I absolutely adore this color. So last year, this A6 size came in a black, and I am so happy that they came out with another color variant. I love that this one is this sort of brown, earthy tone, which is right up my alley. And I also love that all the details are black. So I believe in the A6 last year, the details were silver, but I love that these are black. I love that they matched the zipper to this color out here, and it's just so cute. I will say when I first pulled this out of the plastic, I had a moment where I was worried that it might be too small for my Hibino, but I thought we could take a look at that together. So in case you're unfamiliar, this is an A6 cover, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So on the left side, you have a few different pockets. You can easily use some of these sides to fit like a folder. And then you have some card slots at the top. You have 1, 2, 3. You've got a little card here that just tells you about POTR. You've also got a Hobonichi. Tells you a little bit about how to protect this product. And then you've got this cute little like translucent flap, and I think that allows you just to put something kind of cute here if you want to. So as an example, let's say I wanted to put this card in here. So we could do something like that. On the right side, there is a mesh pocket where you can put more things in. I think you could fit a pen in here if you really wanted to. So I could put a couple of writing utensils in here. You have this bookmark. You have 2. There's an orange one. And these are actually quite substantial compared to the default ones that come in the books. And this one is kind of like a blue, like a very, very light powder blue. And then This, I don't know what this fabric is, but it's so soft. And I love that they've paired this kind of slate blue on the inside. This would look so beautiful with the blue-gray Hibino, but I ended up getting the brown one, of course. So as a start, let's just put the Hobonichi A6, what this is technically designed for. And so you can do it like this, but you can also stick the cover on the other side. And no surprise, this fits so well, and there's so much room in here. Like you can, it's very roomy. So I love that you could fit a lot. You could really pack a lot into this. And then there is a pen loop here. So this is my pilot vanishing point, and you could fit that in here like that, and then close that up. So cute. Okay, so next up, let's try the Hibino. So I've got the cover in here, and that seems to fit. It's a little tight here, but that's what it looks like. And then if I wanted to close it, so these are all sticking out, but something I've noticed is just when you zip it up, it doesn't seem to get caught. I mean, maybe it can, but yeah, so far it seems to be okay. So let's just zip that up. So it gets a little bit tight with the pen, but it does zip up quite easily. And then the last thing that I want to check is putting this cover on this side. My thought is when I'm using this, especially in those early months, this might add a little bit of like an extra padding for those like early months. And then using a pencil board, I was thinking that will also help when I'm wanting to write over here. So, I mean, I guess we'll see how it feels when I'm actually using the book, but this feels really good. Having the pencil board and then having this extra padding so it's not quite on the table, so it's a little lifted. And yeah, I think this is making me feel really excited. And then yeah, like I love that it just fits in my hand. So if I'm out and I just want to open this up, I can open it up like that. And I have my pen here. Now I just want to try using this more as a pen clip to see if that would make a difference with how this fits. So, because it would be a lot easier to pull out this pen that way as well. And I guess I could also try a few different pens. So this is my Hachimanjia, which I believe is like a Sailor Pro Gear size. And so it gets a little bit tight here, but it does fit very nicely. I wonder if a Pro Gear Slim would be maybe a little bit better. Here's my Platinum 3776. So again, it's a little tight with the pen, but it definitely closes. And I just love how compact this is. Like I find some of the A6 covers can feel really bulky, but this feels like very, very compact. And in case you didn't know, it does come with a strap. So if you wanted to, you could just wear this as a crossbody, which I think makes it even more versatile. So if I'm grocery shopping or just wanting to head out with only this, like I could easily just have this and put my cards in here, or even in here if I wanted to. And yeah, this could be my only bag. And the other thing that I noticed, I'm just going to put my vanishing point in here because that's what I'm most likely going to use with this book. The other thing that I think I remember seeing on Joy of Stationery's channel, because she has the black version of this, is a traveler's passport actually fits in here. So yes, it is a little tight because I do have a Hibino, but look at that. You can actually fit your passport in here if you wanted to. And there's another extra section over here. I don't know what I would use it for, but I think you could fit, yeah, you could fit a folder in here. So you could probably even fit an A6 notebook. Let me see. I mean, this is kind of getting a bit tight. I don't want to ruin this, but let me actually, so here we have an A6 notebook, and you could fit an A6 notebook in there as well. Oh my goodness. And then I've seen some people take their little shorter pens, and you could fit some pens in here as well. And I'm curious, just out of curiosity, could I fit, this feels like it might be a bit too tight. So I wouldn't recommend shoving it, but out of curiosity, if you really, really wanted to, you could fit a Hibino, an A6 Hobonichi notebook, and a Passport Traveler's notebook cover. And it would be tight, but you could still close that up. And if I really wanted to, I could take my little pencil and put that in there. So I'm kind of amazed. I mean, this is so cute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait until the new year to use this cover, but yeah, I'm so excited. And I have to give Moonlit Journal credit for really highlighting this cover. I mean, I've watched, I think, almost every video that I could have found on this cover, but I've seen her using this often on her channel, and she has the A5 size, and we did a collaboration video earlier this year where we did an outdoor journaling date, and she talked about packing up her cover, her POTR cover, and the amount of stuff she was able to fit into it was amazing. And I recognize that there's less I can fit in here because it is the A6 size. But if I were to use the A6 Hobonichi Techo, I think this would be just perfect. If I were to start using this now, I think this is how I would use it. So, as you may know, my main planning system this year is my A6 Hobonichi Original. And normally I use this gorgeous Wonder Pens and the Superior Labor leather portfolio, But as this book has puffed up, it has gotten a little bit tight in here. So this is what I currently store in here. This is a sticker release book. This is my weekly supplement. And then these are transfer stickers that I haven't really been using so much in my A6, but I actually think I will use this in my Hibino next year. But let's say I wanted to keep all of this together. I would probably put my weekly supplement in here. And I would probably take my folder of stickers and I'd probably put them either back here, and I'd probably put these two back here. So that's one option. Or I could put my cover in here, and then I could take my folders and I could just store them on the outside here. And with my pen, oh my goodness, this is so cute. And if I wanted, I could also put my pencil just over here. And actually, what I could also do is if I wanted to carry around an extra notebook, I could put a notebook in here, and I could put my folder and sticker release paper in here, and I could even stick my pencil over here. Another variation is I could take this and I could take this A6 notebook and I could also put it in here, and that fits very well. So if you don't have a chunky book like a Hibino and you just want to use your regular A6, you could also have it all in one adorable little package like this. Well, I am in love. I'm so relieved. I was actually a little nervous that I wasn't going to like this, but I think it's so cute. And I will link a few POTR videos that I've watched in the past that I used to help me decide whether I wanted to invest in this, because it is quite an investment. I've seen others decorate the cover here so you can add little pins and charms and patches. I'm just so thrilled. I think this is the perfect colorway for me, and I'm so happy with how versatile this is. So whether I am in an A6 Hobonichi or whether I'm in something as thick as a Midori Hibino, I know that this is going to meet my needs as long as I don't chunk up my Hibino too much. So it's not going to have too much room to grow, but I'm planning on keeping it as lean as possible anyway next year. So let me know if you have any questions about this POTR Stroll A6 size. And if you have one of these, let me know how you're using it. What book are you using it for? And if you've had it for more than a year or you have any long-term thoughts, I would love to hear. My understanding is that these are very high quality, well made. They should last a lifetime. So I'm very excited to put that to the test. Also, does anyone know if these are waterproof? I will double check the website to see if they mention it, but I'm curious if this material is waterproof, and if I were to take this out and get caught in the rain, how would it fare? Let me know if you happen to know. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the community sticker trade, I just wanted to share a quick update. So thank you to everyone who signed up for the sticker trade. We had almost 100 people sign up, which just blows my mind, and I'm so thrilled that there was such a great response. The next steps for me is I am going to randomly assign everyone who signed up for the sticker trade and send an email out to every pair that I assign. So look out for an email from me in the next week or two. I just ask that you please be a bit patient with me because I'm going to be manually sending out those emails. And you may need to check your junk mail just in case it lands in your spam folder. So next steps are look out for an email from me. It will introduce you to your swap partner. I will invite you two to share your addresses with each other, and you do not need to share your address with me. In fact, I encourage you to continue your conversation with your partner without me so that you can really keep your address safe, and then you two can coordinate your Happy Mail exchange. Now, the one thing that I am sad to say is that in Canada, we are currently under a Canada Post strike, and it is a full strike. So unlike the strike that we had earlier this year where it was more of a reduced service, currently there is no mail that is coming and going. So I'm not sure how long this strike is going to last for, but if I partner you with someone who is based in Canada, please know that it might be a bit more delayed in sending and receiving your Happy Mail just because I'm not sure how long this is going to last for. Fingers crossed by November, which was the original deadline to send your Happy Mail, that the strike will be over, but I'm not sure. So I will keep you updated as I know more. Please give our Canadian friends a little bit of leeway on timing in case we aren't able to send those out. Let me know if you have any questions about the community sticker trade. And if you have any feedback for how it's gone so far, please feel free to share it. I am thinking about maybe doing this on a semi-regular basis, not too frequently, but maybe a few times a year. So I was thinking potentially quarterly. I was thinking it might be nice to do a holiday exchange, but with the strike, I don't know what's going to happen. And if you are only hearing about this now and you missed the sign up, then let me know, because if I know there's more demand for something like this in the future, then I'll try to run another one of these again. As a reminder, it is free to sign up. The intention is not to spend money. It's actually to use your stash, share your stash, and be able to add things to your collection without having to worry about tariffs and things like that. Of course, I did not anticipate that the strike was going to happen, but let's just hope that things are running smoothly in the next few weeks and that it won't be an issue by the time we hit that deadline for sending Happy Mail. All right, well, if you're still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you soon in the next video.